Hello everyone, this is my genogram. So, sorry it's a little bit wrinkled, my baby got a hold of it. So this is me with my siblings, and then my mom and dad and grandparents. And here's my legend or key that has some of the symbols that I use, such as addiction, divorce, strained relationships, religious, non-religious, controlling relationships, close, healing, remarried, single affair. So for the first one, I think the most significant trend that I saw in my genogram was the trend of addiction. Both of my parents are recovering addicts, and then several of their siblings have also struggled with addiction. And so that was an interesting trend, and it's a trend that skipped this generation, but as I was doing this genogram, I was able to find that both this grandpa and the grandpa before him also struggled with alcoholism. So that's something that has been passed down, is addiction. What surprised me was just how some of the relationship trends, like this grandma tends to be controlling of my grandpa, how some of those behaviors were also passed down to children. You can even see it in some of my siblings. So I thought that was kind of surprising, something I haven't considered before. As far as the interpersonal issues, I think that kind of both of the previous things I just talked about cover that. Evidence of intergenerational transmission, I think religion would be a big thing. Both of my sets of grandparents are very religious, and that was passed down, and almost all of my aunt and uncles are at least really spiritual, even if they're not completely active, but religion does play a role down and also goes up farther, I was able to find out. I think that the biggest thing I learned from this assignment was just how things can be passed down and cycles can be passed down through generations, and it just takes one person to kind of end the cycle. For example, I'm hoping addiction ends here and doesn't pass on through me and my siblings. So far, so good. It was also interesting to see the relationships that are strained out on paper, and how most of those come from either affairs or family issues. A lot of it stems from the addiction causing the family issues through the generations even, and through father's family and mother's family. So I thought that was interesting, and I think it would be interesting to go back even further. I'm sure you could be able to pick out a lot stronger of trends as they go up through the generations and be surprised by that. I was also interested how this side of the family seemed to be a lot more open-minded, coming from this grandma, and probably her parents. Her kids are all really open-minded and kind of think differently, whereas these grandparents are more close-minded, and their children are all a lot the same. And I feel like a lot of my siblings from my mom all picked up on the open-mindedness, whereas my dad has one daughter who picked up more on the closed-minded side. So that was interesting. That is my genogram.